The symmetry command in Fusion 360 can be used to create symmetrical T-spline surfaces and discover symmetry in existing T-spline surfaces. To show this to you, I'll start by creating a T-splines primitive. In the Sculpt workspace, I'll come up here to Create, and I'll choose Box. I'll pick a work plane to start my box. I'll pick a center point, and I'll sketch out the shape I'm looking for. I can declare symmetry while creating my primitive over here in the dialog. I'll turn symmetry on, and I can choose symmetry in the length, width, or height. This primitive will be symmetrical about the plane indicated by the green line. But I'd like to show you how to add symmetry to a primitive after we've created it. I'll choose OK to complete this command. I'll come up here to the Symmetry tool. I'll choose Mirror Internal. I'll pick a face on one side of the line I wish to declare symmetry around, and pick another face on the other. As you can see, Fusion has discovered symmetry in this object and is showing the symmetry plane with this green line. I'll right-click and choose OK when I'm done. Now, whatever happens on one side of this line will happen on the other. I'll choose this surface, choose Edit Form, and by pulling the manipulator, I can show you both sides working at the same time. I'll right-click and choose OK when I'm done. To remove symmetry from this primitive, I'll come up here to Symmetry, Clear Symmetry, and select the T-spline surface. I'll right-click and choose OK when I'm done. Now maybe I like this side of the shape, but I don't really like what's happening over here. So I want to create a symmetrical shape. Come up here to Symmetry, Mirror Internal, pick one side, and pick the other. You can see that Fusion will discover symmetry in this shape, but this is not always the case. Sometimes Fusion will fail to recognize symmetry. I'm going to show you how to resolve this. I'll right-click here and choose Cancel. I'll come up here to my right view. I'll select all of these surfaces and delete them. Now I'll need to create a plane for this T-spline surface to be symmetrical about. I'll use Construct, Plane through 3 points. I'll pick 3 points on the edge of this T-spline. Then I'll come up here to Symmetry, Duplicate. I'll select my T-spline surface, and I'll select my plane of symmetry. To knit the two halves of the T-spline together, make sure you have Weld selected. You can set the weld tolerance to clear up any irregularities or gaps between your surfaces. When I'm done, I'll choose OK. I'll turn this plane off. We can also use the Symmetry Duplicate command to create 2 T-spline bodies symmetrical about the plane. I'll come up here to Symmetry, Duplicate. I'll pick my T-spline surface, and I'll pick the surface around which I want it to be symmetrical. I'll right-click and choose OK when I'm done. I now have 2 surfaces that are symmetrical about their midpoint, but also symmetrical to each other. To show you this, I'll click on a surface, choose Edit Form, and use the manipulator to edit this surface. I'll right-click and choose OK when I'm done. That concludes this video on Fusion 360's mirror symmetry commands.